The Secret of the Hidden Scrolls, Book 1, The Beginning, Chapter 11, Everything is Very Good. Peter, Mary, Hank, and Michael stood silently behind the trees on the edge of the great garden. Through the mist, a glowing light appeared, hovering above the ground. "Let us make man in our image, in our likeness," said the big voice from the glowing light. "Let them rule over the creatures I have created, the fish of the sea, the birds of the sky, and all the creatures great and small on the earth." The ground under the glowing light started to move and take shape. The form of a man lay on the ground, breathless and motionless. The glowing light moved towards the man. The light touched the man's face, and breath flowed from God into the man. The man took the breath deep, filling his body with life. He coughed and opened his eyes. He stared into the light. He was alive. Peter couldn't stop staring. The first man was alive. The man stood and walked into the garden with God. "You can follow them," said Michael, "but you must not let the man see you. He can't see another human." "We'll be very careful and quiet," said Mary. "That was amazing," said Peter. "This is only the beginning of the amazing things you will see." Michael spread his mighty wings once more and shot into the air. "Where are they going?" asked Mary. "It looks like they're headed for the tall trees in the middle of the great garden," said Peter. "Shh, don't talk so loud," whispered Mary. They followed and hid behind the trees. God and the man finally stopped behind the two tall trees. "You may eat the fruit from any tree in the garden," God said to the man, "but you must not eat the fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. If you do, you will die." The man nodded. This sounded familiar to Peter. There always had to be rules. God showed the man around the garden. They talked and they laughed. It was like they were happy to finally be together. Peter thought it would be amazing to take a walk with God. "It is not good for man to be alone," said God. "He needs a helper." The wind blew through the trees. The birds and animals seemed to be excited. They rushed to meet God's latest creation, the one God had made to rule and care over them. The animals and birds gathered around the man. He named the animals. This took a while because God made a lot of animals. "You are a giraffe," said the man to the spotted creature with the long neck. "You, colorful flying creature, will be named Parrot. You look like a turkey. I name you three: monkey, moose, and mouse. You are a leopard, and you are a gorilla. You over there laughing, I name you Hyena. You two, stop hopping for a minute. You are kangaroo and rabbit." The naming went on for a while. Peter looked around. "Where's Hank?" he whispered. "Look, he's out there with the other animals," Mary whispered back. Peter looked and almost shouted out loud. Hank was running up to the man. "Oh no," Mary said. "Hank is going to blow our cover." "It's too late," Peter said. "We can't stop him." "I name you Dog," said the man. Hank danced on his back paws, then jumped into the air and did a backflip. "You are one of the smartest animals I have met," said the man. "Woof," barked Hank. "I told you Hank was smart," whispered Peter. Hank turned around and ran back to Peter. The man finished naming all the creatures. He was very creative with names, but suddenly the corners of his mouth turned down and his shoulders slumped. "The man seems tired and sad," said Mary. "I think he looks lonely," said Peter. "There aren't any other people." "I think he needs a wife," said Mary. "Of course you do," said Peter. The man stretched out on the ground and fell into a deep sleep. The glowing light hovered over the man. God reached down and pulled a rib out of the man's side. Peter almost said, "Ouch," out loud, but the man didn't even stir. The hole closed quickly and God took the rib out into the bushes. "What's he doing?" Peter whispered. "Shh," Mary said. "Wait and see what happens." Peter heard leaves stirring. The man must have heard it too because he woke up. A woman walked slowly through the trees toward the man. The birds sang and the elephants trumpeted. The man ran to greet this beautiful new creature. "You are bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh," said the man. "You will be named woman because you are a part of me." "Everything is very good," said the big voice across the amazing creation. "Yes, it is," whispered Peter. Suddenly he was very tired. He lay back against the apple tree and drifted off to sleep.